matchup, as we mentioned in the previous series. We did see it. BDD confident he can get it done against one of Faker's best and one of the strongest mid lane champions right now in the meta. With the build that she has, her synergy with Vi, which is so rarely given over. You know, we saw Viego last series as well.
Yeah, I mean, this is 5v4 if KT want to take the fight. So I don't think we want to take the fight by any means.
Really cool play, though, from T1.
Clear up the Fnatic sign, did Smash. A little shout out to his old brother Reckless.
Yeah, he's done that a few times. I love to see some Reckless enjoyers.
Oh!
Close.
That was pretty close. Nice charm there from Faker. They're not going to go in on it. I think T1 have a pretty clear call here, which is we're going to get all the grubs, and Doran, you know, he might.
There's going to be a lot of lost farm here, and lost experience as well.
Well, he's just flashed on in, and flash. There it is from Carry. Amazing engage, and they just did not. And that T1 we're still looking, but no respect shown from Peter. Not able to flash and react on time.
And the irony is that out there's no turret to protect you. Didn't stay under the turret to farm, and now Owner over here with ult.
There's no charm, but they might just have enough damage. Yes, they absolutely do. Owner
not actually 100% sure, but we'll get a... No, he won't.
No, I don't think so. Oh, Smash is just ganking bot. Casting is 100% dead. Like 1,000% dead, maybe. Really, the question is who's going to get the kill, and it will be Smash eventually here as he gets it. Does drop 3 CS. I think he's fine with that. Meanwhile, KT are going to take the grubs in the top lane, but the gigantic gold lead, at least for this point in the game, 2,000 gold already, does go over to T1.
Yeah, and it's the BDD Stripe
build up until this point. So Faker, he is doing something special. I'm just not sure it's the right thing, as the ult is going to go in on a Padak, and there's the follow-up. It's as easy as that. You press your R, and even Israel can't do anything, as Peter also is going to die. Smash now 3-0.
As it falls, T1 feel like they couldn't be more ahead. And the only thing they're missing is that one dragon. And Faker may...
He's got Flash and one more Spirit Rush, and he also has Charm. He's going to try to hold on to the Flash. It's going to bite him in the butt as Peter does follow Flash, and he just dies. Meanwhile, T1 up in the top lane are just bullying casting once again. They're doing a great job of making the rookie's life really difficult, as this guy is not getting out alive once again. It'll be 0-2. Meanwhile, they're taking the mid turret. You know, I don't think that Faker really did that on purpose, but he's still able to have his team get a lot of wins elsewhere on the map.
It's just it's a Faker trait, right? If Faker dies somewhere, T1 usually gets something on the other side, in most cases, especially when you're 3,000 gold ahead. You know, it's a lot easier to make that thing happen on the other side. And the game state that we have right now, Faker is caught, sure, but Doran gets the whole turret, delays, or rather deletes some minions by delaying the take on the turret as he does so. And they have mid-prio because it's Kaisa into Ezreal, so they really just have control everywhere. It's a 2,000 gold lead for Smash, and Carry is lurking, and he leaves.
Yeah, he's lurking. I think try to force this Rift Herald.
Faker having TP.
Yeah, I think this is a mistake. The Ezreal is just so incredibly dead. There's just no play in the game for Padak. He showed up to the LCK. He's like, I'm ready to play. And T1 said no. Because Peter's going to die too. BDD is teleporting away. Seems to be the
that's the new trend.
The new trend of the LCK. But one of them probably will. And T1's in that class. KT right now are not. So it is quite one-sided as in goes Owner. He's got the Galio follow-up. It's not the cleanest together engage, but the taunt is going to land here onto Rumble. Casting just dies again, and the follow-up is there. They're not going to overcommit into the jungle, but they're certainly going to make their presence made after getting that kill. Nice little cast into the wall, going to force Peter into a rough spot. And now with the charm follow-up, nicely done by Faker. That means that is another kill on the board.
Anytime 2021 to 2024, T1 be doing Baron on spawn here. But now it's 2025, it doesn't spawn at 20 minutes anymore, so they won't be doing that. But, you know,
Padak run.
7,000 gold the advantage right now at 20 minutes. Faker has to flash.
Oh. Well, it's actually KT who are getting the better of this trade. Nicely done. As Smash goes in, still going to get the kill on a Kaz. Cleanly done from the
incredibly consistent playstyle. He just keeps finding these moments, and You know, we won't have that kind of play. We've seen him do so many times. He just is so good at finding these angles and just taking people's heads off. I mean, he's massively fed in this game, so it's not as impressive as some of the stuff we've seen from him, but I just got to shout it out because he finds his EDD is dying a slow and painful death.
I mean, he might get Faker here. Nicely done. Gonna take him down. Faker wanted the kill. He gets punished for it. So he's not too happy about that.
But it's the Faker death into Otacon, you know?
I mean, technically KT are 4v3 here, but they're not on the objective. And certainly now T1 will take the fight 3v4 as they have the Otacon buff. The incredible amount of damage that Owner is doing in the backline. That's before Smash even shows up. Padak doing his best, but his best is certainly not enough. Not at this point in the game. Triple kill for Smash, who is now 9-0. And there's still more game to play.
There certainly is. Smash, he is a very good Kai'Sa player. And he is showing everyone why.
Oh boy.
And he gets the kill here. That's 10.
I think we had the Zekali 15 kill game the other day. Can we get Smash up to that number?
I think it's going to be hard-pressed to get 15 at this point, though. The base is about to fall apart. Let's see if he could do it. I mean,
that's really the only thing I'm curious about.
What if he gets a penta and ties Zeka and then the game ends? That'd be cool.
That could happen.
It's unlikely, but I mean, I won't count him out.
It would require KT to fight them. I think that's the last thing they want to do, but they're going to be forced to as this kill does go to Smash. Okay, there you go. There's the one. We'll see how many more he can get as Peter goes into his ult. Keria is tanky enough, just barely, with the Galio. Nice charm here from Faker.
Can we get two?
Comes in from Flash, or from Smash rather. Oh no, Owner stole one away. But it's all right. The Penta is denied, and Smash will get up to 13. And Peter says, well, do I go in or do I just go to the base? He's going to try his best because he's Peter. It's another kill over to Smash. 14 in his first game back. As 23-3, T1 will absolutely just destroy KT. It was not close, not for a millisecond.
Oh, he picks. He's going to play Rakan into Leona.
Sure.
Into Leona Ashe. I feel like the comp for KT Rolster is a strong meta comp, you know? And they even got the Leona into the Rakan.
He has this ability, Gleaming Quill, where if you just hit it, you're just full health, it feels like, right? Great peel potential if Peter is the one that starts off the fight, which we do see there. As now, making it rain on top of this bottom lane. Keria does take a bunch of damage, but Smash very healthy. And already, it feels like Smash and Keria are getting ahead on this 2v2.
I mean, okay, hold up.
Oh, the flash on in, but Peter in a bit of trouble. He will go down. Pretty straightforward. There goes Padak as well. Those throw in the barrier, but it's not quite enough. And that is a great time. You know, you're the much favored duo and team.
I mean, it's just
you're happy.
It's also, as much as, you know, I feel like obviously KT Rolster as a team outside of that Rogue 2023 year, which I still think about constantly, has not really been close to T1. There's still a rivalry to be had here, right? I think Keria is enjoying the absolute, like, this is quite a bizarre move here. It's very expensive. Let's see if they can turn it into something more, because I think plates alone isn't going to be worth.
I mean, they really want to take down Doran before anything happens. Doran is going to have to flash if he wants to get away. He's still not going to get away, though. That's already a kill going the way of KT. And now T1 trying to force this fight. Maybe a little bit of happy gaming. A lot of farm over to Smash. He's casting now in a bit of trouble here. He is going to get charmed and knocked up. Smash does not have his ult. He used it on the wave. Will they regret that decision? No is the answer. Very nicely.
Here is top turret. It's a race for first brick. I think KT got it, and they will. So it's another feat of strength. Gonna assert your dominance in mid lane.
Okay, well,
here we go. This is an angle.
Yeah, they're trying to force here on an Owner who is just going to try to flash away, but it's very difficult to get away from this comp. The follow-up is huge, and
but unfortunately, that's only going to shield one CC, one spell, and the follow-up was there from KT. Multiple forms of CC to lock him down and take him out. So another on or take out that dragon, as you say. Be happy getting both of Smash's summoners on this immobile misfortune, but I think wanted a big escape will happen in real time.
Yeah.
And I think T1 just knows this is not a winnable fight without Prio, without Vision.
T1 have to move over and stop this push.
That might be enough to secure them Dragon. If they want to heavily commit to something after this Herald Crash instead. T1 playing so respectfully, backing up though. Faker may get caught.
He's just stuck here in the bush. He's going to have to flash, and not even the disengage cone is going to help him as BDD sits him down.
What a shove. Absolutely insane predict from BDD.
Yeah.
Or just a complete coincidence, but I'm going to say insane predict.
It was planned. And now, TP coming in. T1 want to fight this. They want to fight on their terms. They're going to press their buttons in the aggressive direction, this time for the first time in this game. And now they do shut down BDD. We did have Flash. That ult was not great from Smash. Is now going to get into that backline. The follow-up is there. Smash in a lot of trouble. And they are able to get the shutdown onto the AD carry of T1. That's a double kill as well. And KT beginning to gain some momentum in this game.
Doran here, don't know about that.
Well, they're going to turn off the lights. They get into that back line, and one stun on the Smash is enough. He's totally zoned by Renekton, and he has to flash away. But look at the damage right now from the Nocturne. At least they get the Ash. As now Smash tries to get in, but he just dies. As he was isolated the entire fight, they don't have an AD carry. Cuz is going to get blown up by Faker, and they still have this Mbessa as well. T1 trying to fight this one out. It's a very close one. Faker's still full health against 3 low health bars, but he doesn't have a front line anymore.
You just get more and more value out of it as the fight extends, and that's what Victor wants to do, is be that AP carry.
Well, trying to punish Peter here. That's a lot into the Leona, but nobody is there just yet. You see the follow-up is coming through, though. BDD makes his way over. Cuz there as well. The charm comes in from Carrier, but no follow-up is there on a BDD. Finally, Faker will put an end to Cuz, who unfortunately got caught in the crossfire. And now T1, nice little pick. And oh, very nice max range from Doran. Gonna catch out the Talia and get the job done as T1 beginning to show what their pick comp can do as the stun comes in from Faker. Excellent position. And that is 3 kills as KT fall 1 by 1.
This is what T1 can do if you just get one angle, one moment. They can snowball that turn of events into a massive win. 3 dead on the floor here for KT. Casting absent from that fight is going to get a turret for his troubles, but T1 gets so much more. They're going to get a Baron off of this as well, easily.
Otacon? Nah.
That's a bridge too far in this game. Smash is the target.
He's got Cleanse, but he doesn't have a splash. They're really trying desperately to take him down, and now he gets the huge ultimate onto so many that were desperately trying to dive into him, and there is the value from the MF. And the follow-up is swift from T1. KT overextend, and it's just going to be a clean, straight-up ace 29 minutes into the game as they will look to potentially end.
The words that came out of my mouth right before that happened was KT can still win this game. They can no longer win this game now, this. Because I was going to say, they still have that single target blow up. They can still find targets. They can still... Smash says, strut. The walking strategy.
He just walked up. He just used the wall to zone KT away from it.
Yeah. That's it. That's GG.
Yep.
And what was a very close second game that KT played well just comes to a crashing end.
Yeah, the crash down from the realm we did not see. And yeah, the Nexus will fall here. T1 will just have their fun. Doran gets killed right at the end, but it doesn't matter. It's still a relatively
phase for the telecom war. It is T1 taking game number 1 in dominant fashion over KT. Digon here alongside Oxen Chronicler to break down this much discussed change for both squads.
Break down what exactly? Because we didn't really get a game.
Well, we had substitutes.
Yeah, no, I know there was a lot of talk. There was a lot of hype.
Yeah.
This game was.
Hype's actually playing for a different team.
Yeah. Not now, Dan. We're still recovering. Yeah. Okay, go ahead, Ox. You take it. You poke him.
I think unfortunately, you know, Pada came in, but it's a bit of an uphill battle because KT have been struggling compared to T1, who, you know, even though they did end up losing to Genji last week, took them really close. So, and I think we can go to the draft and talk a bit about this because I think this draft kind of just really plays itself in an extent for T1, but just works so well together. There's so much dive potential, so many threats. You have setup for the Galio, you have the Gragas engaged, the Vi Ahri, which is a great combo, and Kai'Sa for the follow-up. I think it's a really hard comp to play against, and if KT were going to win this, they needed to spike hard on those mid-game 2-item spikes and not really give any windows for T1 to take over the game.
there are 3 players you cannot give Vi to. And those are Peanut, Lucid, and first and foremost, Owner. I think Lucid, in my opinion, individually, mechanically has been the most impressive Vi, but T1 as a team, no other team plays as well around Vi as they do. It's uncanny, honestly, and the fact that you not only leave open Vi, which you know they're gonna immediately pick, instead of banning Zaire, which Faker has so many other champions he was gonna be able to play well, right? Then you pick Ezreal, and Smash's whole thing is, oh yeah, I'll pick Kai'Sa, and then you have just that 1-2 alone, I think, put T1 in such an impactful position. Then the rest of the draft is obviously a slam dunk as well, but really just in those first 4 picks, I was already like, good luck, KT. I know how you're going to play this game.
Thing is, I really think that we often see teams have like a strong early draft and sometimes fumble a little bit in the latter end, but the Galio came in as an answer to the Rumble, which is fantastic. Honestly, a little surprised. Maybe they didn't ban that. Maybe they didn't expect Darn to bring it out. But then also, KT picked Alistar on 4, clearly wanted to prioritize that. The Gragas is a great matchup into the Alistar, and the fact that they're able to bring this out, you know, this is a sort of pick where when a lot of engaged sports are banned, you think, oh, Alistar exists, but this is just a phenomenal angle for it, even early on in the draft, in the series, sorry.
Yeah, I love that. Again, T1 showing off the power of Fearless Draft. This is one of the teams that we expect to be able to thrive in using multiple different champions, and one of the discussion points about the change that they made over in the bot side of the map. As we take a look at some of the highlights here, here's the first blood on the top side of the map. Smash picks it up, but it was a big, big setup by everyone.
It's Keria that sets this one up, really clean combo, but it's Owner that's the big difference maker, because that man, again, on Vi, is just running around the map, doesn't have to use it all towards top because Keria sets it up, then literally just walks mid, gets the kill there. Now 2 of your lanes are ahead, and if that wasn't enough, I think this third gank was both what set up Smash to truly be unstoppable for the rest of this game, and put KT in a position where they're never going to be able to play the game anymore.
Yeah, beautifully played there as well. The last Vault Breaker to knock the Alistar back a bit so they could get him even through ult. And that's not what we're done. Still more plays coming through. And I feel like ultimately this is that kind of global taunt from Faker where they target him and then the team turn it around.
Because they're able to take him down, which is nice. Cleanly executed there, gets a kill. But then while that was happening on the top side of the map, we have Owner yet again murdering a KT member. I think it was Casting. Unfortunately, did not have the best time here.
KT have now made changes to 3 different positions, right? With the AD carry role being swapped on out, support obviously being changed from LCK Cup. Top side of the map no longer perfect, now Casting. What do we take away here on KT side of things?
So I got a little bit of Hopium.
A little bit of Hopium, everyone.
That game was a beatdown.
As a Bro fan, I love Hopium.
Yeah, I know. Well, you're on Copium, man. I don't...
you don't have that for me?
No.
Okay.
No.
I'll take the lighter stuff. What you got?
Yeah. So, hear me out. I know that game was a beatdown. I know that was really rough. But if we look back in history, okay, if we take the context in which these 2 teams have faced off, it's not a lot of 2-0s. You know, a lot of these, KT, at the very least, somehow takes a game. Do I think that's going to happen after that game 1? Most likely, no. But we can dream, we can believe, and maybe the power of the Telecom War plus low expectations for KT can make this happen.
I think ultimately T1 got like a slam dunk draft, right? Owner had a phenomenal impact early. I think that did look very rough, but I don't think that's going to be completely indicative. Now we have a situation where KT has side selection as well, so... And at the end of the day, regardless of how this series goes, you know, they're trying to figure out what works for them. T1 is a hard opponent. I think the paddock change was the right change, and even if it needs more time for us to be able to see how that impacts the team.
Yeah, that's tough, right? I think when you're KT, you're like, didn't get to learn a lot too much in that one because of how draft went. Maybe they'll be able to bounce back here in game number 2. Let's see what we have in store with that man on your screen looking to pick up a penta maybe in this game, and maybe a little bounce back here for KT. Let's find out as Valdez and Wolf are on the call.
Thank you, Spacers, for that awesome breakdown. And we'll see if that does happen this time around. Certainly was a slam dunk. I was specifically, as always, get help from your friends. I was specifically a bit peeved by the Rakan ban. I definitely wanted to see Galio there. Nice that Ox did touch on that a little bit, but that was only one small piece of the puzzle in the draft. At the end of the day, though, you know, I said this before, KT's changing a lot of stuff. they got a slam dunk draft, yes, but I think that T1 also are the heavy favorites, even if they don't get a slam dunk draft.
Yeah. Kronika brought up the stats of how many of these have gone to 3. Interestingly, they didn't mention any of the 2022 or 2023 telecom wars. But
yeah, a very specific cutoff.
But recently, yes, with that one exception of the 2-0 that happened in round 2 of spring. But this just looks like a KT Rolster that's almost in a scrim versus T1 bringing in a huge heavy hitter and smash